Hello all, welcome to the System Verilog for verification short videos. Today we will try to cover the last topic of data types. From the next session, we will try to cover the concepts of classes and OOPs. So today our agenda is to cover small topics like constant or say parameter, scope and lifetime of the variable. This is the most important topic because most of us do mistakes while debugging due to the scope and lifetime of the variables and casting. Let's start with the first topic, constant or parameter. Till now, we have worked with the variables. Their values can be changed throughout the program at any time. But constant are named data objects that never changes. There are two type of constants, elaboration time and runtime constant. Keyword for elaboration time is parameter and keyword for runtime is const. Let's say I have a syntax like parameter logic flag equals 1. What does this do is I am having a constant named flag having value 1 and data type logic. I can access this flag throughout the program anywhere, but its value can't get changed and will be 1 only. There is also another way to define parameters. Let's say I'm having a module declaration of a vector. With that, I have given hash, then parameter size equals 1. So here size is the same parameter like flag having value 1 and it is passed to module vector. So now whenever I'm having its instance, say vector v, so my instance name is v. I'll be having the similar syntax like hash and in the parenthesis the value of the parameter. So now the value of parameter size is being overwritten by 3 and it will be used throughout the program as 3 only. There is also a runtime constant with syntax const. So here the syntax is like const logic option equals a dot b dot c. Here this a dot b dot c is some hierarchical name and lastly the value of c will be assigned to option. Now at elaboration time the program doesn't know what is the value of c, but at runtime some value will be there and it will be assigned to option, but once it's assigned it can't get overwritten. So this seems like variable only, but this can't be overwritten again. Now the scope of the variable. What is the meaning of scope? It means that at what place I can access the data. This is almost equivalent to C, like a file scope, which is equivalent to C global. Another is block scope, which is equivalent to C local. If I have declared a variable, say, outside any module, interface, program, task, or function, it's a file scope and it's accessible anywhere in the code. On the other hand, if I have declared my variable inside any module, interface, program, checker, task, then it's a block scope and it's accessible only within the block of code. Let's take the example to understand it. Suppose in one program, I'm having module definition, another module definition, and outside the modules, I'm having one variable declaration, say int I1. So this goes to file scope and it's accessible anywhere in the code. So now I should be able to access, say, I1 inside module A1. Let's say I have assigned value 2 to I1, and this is okay because it's in the scope. In another module, say A2, I'm trying to access the same variable I1, say I1 equals 3. So 3 is assigned to I1 and this is again all right because it's in the scope only. On the other hand, let's say block scope example. Here I have done a minor change in the code. I have put this I1 inside the module definition. So now what I'm having here is in module A1 I'm having int I1 and I have tried to access the variable inside the module only, say I1 equals 2. This is okay because I1 is in the scope only. But now if I'm trying to access I1 inside another module, then it shouts an error because the variable is not in the scope. So we should understand what is the scope of any variable, whether it is file scope or a block scope, and then work accordingly. We'll also look at one example of scope, so we'll be able to understand it clearly. Okay, let's go to the file scope.sv. Here, I'm taking one integer ab. First, let's take this ab outside the module. I have declared my variable ab outside any module. Then, inside this module, I'm trying to access, say, initial ab equals, say, 55. Now I'm taking one another module definition, scope 1. Here I'm trying to make one procedure, initial begin. Inside that, let's say after 3, I'm doing AB plus plus. So I'm trying to access in scope 1 module also, and let's display the value of AB here. Say AB equals percentage 0t and AB. So what I've done is I have declared some variable AB. In a scope module, I'm assigning its value 55. In scope 1, after 3 nanosecond, I'm doing AB++ and then displaying its value. Let's see what happens. VCS hyphen s verilog scope.sv. It's compile clean and dot slash simv. I'm having value AB equal to 56 and no error. So my AB is accessible in scope as well as scope 1, and it is having value 55, then it's doing plus plus to 56 and displaying value here. Okay. Now, this was the example of file scope. Now let's take this value inside a module definition and run the same code again. Okay. It's shouting error that identifier not declared on 10th line. So in this scope 1, AB is not declared, so it's shouting an error. So now this AB is part of block scope. Okay. Next is lifetime. What is the meaning of lifetime? Lifetime means up to what point the value of any variable is available, or say up to what point a variable persists its value. There are two type of lifetime: static lifetime and automatic lifetime. If I say static lifetime, my variable's value exists for the whole simulation, and a keyword for that is static, which is a default mode. On the other hand, if I say automatic lifetime, this is important to understand that its lifetime ends when execution leaves their scope and recreated or say reinitialized when the scope is re-entered. Keyword is automatic. We will try to understand what does this statement mean by an example. Let's take a simple example, a for loop. In a for loop, I am declaring some variable with static keyword. Say static int loop equals 0. Then I am increasing loop plus plus and displaying the value. So here the value of loop, it exists for the whole simulation. So for the first loop, say I equals 0, my value of loop is loop plus plus means 1. So it will display 1 here. Okay. Now, next time again, when I am re-entering the loop, it has persisted its value. It has remembered its value that my value was 1. Now, whenever I do loop plus plus and I'm displaying it, my value will be 2. And similarly, for 5 times, my value will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what's the difference if I'm having it as automatic? Here I've just changed the keyword from static to automatic. The other code is the same. Now, whenever I am having it, say first time for I equal to 0, my loop plus plus, so it's displaying 1. For the next time, When I'm re-entering it, before that, whenever I'm leaving this loop and re-entering it, it's recreated or reinitialized. So the next time, for I equal to 1, the value of loop is again 0. It has not remembered its value 1 when I was 0. So now whenever I do loop plus plus, again I will be having this display 1 only, and this will get repeated for all the cases, because each time I will leave any loop and re-enter it, it will recreate this variable loop, or say reinitialize its value to 0, and every time its value will be 1 only. For all 5 times my value will be 1. This automatic lifetime variables are used for say recursive functions and many other applications. Here I have defined some scenarios, and for each scenario, whether I'll be having file scope, block scope, and static lifetime or automatic lifetime. This will be easier whenever we are having different kind of scenarios. Let's say my variable is declared outside a module program or anywhere. So this is the same scenario that we saw in the previous slide. It's a file scope with static lifetime. One more thing in the previous slide, that the default mode is static. So even if I have not written static here, then it will counted as static only. And before moving ahead, let's take one more example of lifetime, one some complex example before looking at different scenarios. Okay, in this lifetime.sv, uh, I'm making one procedure, initial begin, and then one for loop for int I equals 0, I less than say 3, and I plus plus, then it's begin end. Now here I'm taking one automatic keyword, automatic integer, say loop equal to 0, and I'm taking another for loop for j equal to 0. I need to write int j equal to 0, j less than 3 again, and j plus plus, it's begin end. Keep practice of writing this begin end like this, so that it will never uh, be issue for debugging. Here I'm doing say loop plus plus and displaying its value. All right, so what I've done here is I've taken one automatic integer loop. It's inside this for loop and outside this for loop. So whenever I will enter this for loop for I equals 0, my loop is having value 0. And this for int equal to j equal to 0 to 3, this loop will be there, say loop plus plus and dollar display loop. So let's see what results are there. Lifetime.sv, well clean, and simulation. Values for the first loop I have got 1 2 3, then again 1 2 3, then again 1 2 3. Now let's understand what happened. For the first time, it entered this j loop and it had values 1, then again 2, again 3 for j equal to 0 1 and 2. Then it went to this for loop again, I equal to 1. The variable loop was automatic, so it has not remembered its value and it's reinitialized to 0. Then again it's entering j loop for j equal to 0 to 3, so 0 1 2, and loop is 1 2 3. Then again for I equal to 2, it's coming inside, loop is again initialized to 0, and my display is 1 2 3 again. So I'm having display 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Just see the effect by writing here say static, and as I said it's a default mode, so even if I don't write static it will get counted as static only. Let's run this file again. See the difference. Now my display is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 at 9 instead of 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. What happened here? Here, for the first time, it entered I loop. Loop was initialized to 0. And here for j equal to 0 to 3, it was loop plus plus. So 1, 2, 3. It went to this for loop again, I equals 1. Now, the loop, it has remembered its value because it was static. It will not get reinitialized here. So the value of loop is the last value, which was 3 here. And now for j equal to 0 to 3 it will loop it again, so it will start for 4 5 6, then again I equal to 2. Loop is not reinitialized to 0 on again, and it has remembered its last value which was 6. Now it will be 7 8 9. So my display is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this is the difference between static and automatic keyword. Now we are clear with what is scope, file scope, block scope, lifetime, and in that static and automatic. So now we'll be able to look at this different scenarios. I have checked the boxes whether it is file scope or block scope, static or automatic lifetime, and I have also provided small examples. Let's say the last one: variables within an automatic task function and can be explicitly declared as static. So its example is, let's say I have taken task as automatic. Inside that I have explicitly declared any variable as static. So my scope is block scope only. It's inside the task, and the lifetime of this a is static because it's explicitly declared as static. But now say I have not explicitly declared my a as static. So by default, because my task is automatic, all the variables inside the task is automatic only. So in this case, I'm having block scope only, but automatic lifetime. So just go through all of this and try for all such small codes into terminal. If you have any doubt, ask the question into comment area of the video. The last topic is casting. This is similar to Verilog or say C only. There are two type of casting: static and dynamic. In static casting, a casting operator is this forward tick, and the syntax is like first of all write any casting type, then this casting operator, and then any expression. The basic meaning of casting is changing the data type from one to another. Let's say this example. Here I am having 2.0 into 3.0. So this is let's say float example, right? Or real. And I want answer in integer. I want to change the type. So what I will do is my casting type is integer, this cast operator, and then expression. So let's say 2.0 into 3.0. So answer of this will be 6.0, but it will get converted to integer, so 6. And I can also use casting for say making some variable signed or unsigned. Here -4 will get unsigned and then it will return the value. I can also make some variable to constant using casting. So casting is used for changing any kind of type to another type with cast operator. But in static casting, we must be knowing the value or say expression at elaboration time. In dynamic casting, we will use a system task named $cast. The example, let's say we have one enumerator, type def enum, red, green, blue, with having name colors. So here my colors is a type of enum, and I have taken its instance as col. Now I'm using $cast, then first of all col, and then expression 1 plus 2. So here 1 plus 2 is 3, and I'm casting it to type COL. So what is 3 in this colors? So this is 1, 2, 3. So here blue is 3, and my column, the COL, is assigned to blue. Okay, because it's equivalent to 3. So this is how dynamic casting works. In dynamic casting, I won't get compile time error because it will check this expression at runtime only, while in static casting I may find an error because any of this expression is invalid. Then I'll find an error. That's it with casting. So this is it with the basic data types of system verilog. If you have any doubt, please ask in the comment area. From the next session, we will start with the classes and oops, which are the most important part of verification. So see you soon. Thank you.